There's a very safe pair of hands. And that is a huge moment in the game. Early in match 15, Manan, he goes for only 6 of 6 balls. And the score in the second over, it's 13-1. So, with Manan gone, someone has to step up. And it could quite easily be this batsman, Abdul-Asif. He's had an outstanding series. Twice he's made 60, and he does it in just really quick time. But again, quality bowling. Really quality bowling from Ravi Athapaththu. He'll be bowling to Karthikeyan. Pushed away in the offside, just be a run, but big moment in the match. But this man on strike, Abdul-Asif, he is certainly one player which I've really enjoyed watching. And when he hits them, wow, they just go a long way. Has 176 runs in the series, including a high score of 75 not out. But his strike rate, how about it? It's 284 runs per 100 balls. And it's the best strike rate of any batsman this week in Romania. 176 runs he scored, an average of almost 59. 26s. That's including 6 matches, but he didn't get a bat in one of them because they didn't lose a wicket. So, certainly a player to watch. He's got a lot of cricket left in this innings. Over 8 overs to bat. They've got a slip in place. They know they'd love to get a Sif early. Cluj leans on this one, down to third man. That's the end of an outstanding over from Ravi Athapaththu. Takes 1 for 3 off it, the big wicket of Manan. And the score after 2, it's 15-1. So, 2 overs down the power play. Cluj will be very, very happy, especially after ACCB won the toss. Looked at the bat, you knew that they wanted to put some big runs on the board. And look, they still might. Gaurav Mishra comes back to bowl his second in the power play, which we normally see him doing. He does like to swing that new ball. He's got Asif at the other end. Oh, this one, he aims it over long on. Great bit of keeping by Nadagotla. He's such a weapon. Such a weapon behind the stumps. And the pace of Mishra, he can handle it. So you see, that's why Asif has to make sure he keeps that back foot back in the crease. Otherwise, if he misses it, he'll be in some trouble. Oh, it's a pretty good piece of bowling. I think the umpire just saying that's might be going down the leg side. This was a really good shout. I mean, I heard 2 noises here. That was the other thing. You judge for it at home. Have a look on the replay. Yeah, I think that's probably a good decision. I mean, he does get so much in swing. I think that probably is missing the leg stump for me. Good umpiring. Certainly not far away from Mishra. Let's see if a bit of a nervy start from him. Jammed down on by the batsman. And he'll get it to the other end. So people often say, well, you know, if you've got your best hitter, for example, Asif, it's probably the second best hitter after Manan, why don't you bat him from the top? And there's an argument for that. Why don't you bat him in the opening position? But I think one of the reasons is that you have to contend with the new ball and the new ball bowlers in the first 3 overs. I don't think that all batsmen are comfortable in that situation. It's a slightly different mindset. You do have to put a slight price on your wicket, and sometimes there are certain players I think that don't necessarily enjoy that. They like to have a little bit of cricket behind them in the innings before they come out, and they like to come around that kind of 4, 5, 6 over mark. And I think Abdul-Asif's one of them. So he still is in the power play. He's got to get on strike though. That's full toss, and I think this one's going to get to the boundary. It's a nice bit of placement by AK. Just leans on this one through the offside. Mishra, although that was swinging. It's a full toss, and it gets past the man in the circle. And once it did, I knew it was going to make it all the way for cuatro carreras. Sharp. Hoping to break through. Karthikeyan has been a fairly consistent performer for ACCB. Works this one away. And good running by the batsman. Finishes the power play. For me, that power play is won on points by Cluj. They restrict ACCB to 21 for 1 after 3 overs. Well, you see that I think that's a pretty good power play for me. I think I told you already, 35 to 40. That's what I'd be looking for in the power play. You can see the first over was most expensive, but the wicket in the second over really changed the game. And now they are going to bowl Ravi Athapaththu out in the 4th. I think this is a good move. Get him while he's hot. They've got some other bowlers. They've got Vasu Saini to close out the innings, which seems to be his role at the moment. They certainly showed they've got a lot of bowling options yesterday. Cluj, the second game they played, they bowled a lot of their bowlers that hadn't really had too many opportunities. Like Taranjit Singh with his off spin in the middle overs as well. Heavy ball from Athapaththu. Wraps Karthikeyan on the gloves. So I think it's a good contest. Something just has to happen soon for ACCB, you feel. Last year, ACCB were the champions in the ECS. So it was only a 2-day series, you'd have to say. Wicket, and they'll just get past the bowler. The last time these two teams met, Cluj put 139 on the board. This is in the European Cricket Series, 12th of September. Cluj batted first, put 139 on the board, but ACCB hunted it down. They scored 140 with 1 over remaining, so they brought up the 140 off 9 overs. Can ACCB recover after the early loss of Gohar Manan? Well, this is a nice shot, carved away, and it's going to get past the fielder. That one really skated fast. Sivakumar Periyawa on the deep point boundary. Put out a hand in hope, but it was past him before he knew it. Maybe this is a shot that just gets Abdul-Latif going. Yeah, it's very hard to anticipate the bounce. It was Karthikeyan, who played a really nice shot. Come back from the bowler though. You hear the noise out there. That's a beauty. That's a beauty. Well, it was. Keep by Nada got like that really swung after it went past the stumps as well. You see there once again, not really too much time for the batsman to get the feet in the right position. So can he hunt another wicket at the Athapaththu? Full toss. Can do it with this one. Oh, could have big trouble here. Huge trouble. And Karthikeyan's going to get run out. And can you believe it? Wow, it's a calamitous mix-up that leads to the second wicket for ACCB. And you see the Karthikeyan, he ran straight away, called it. And Asif took a couple of steps and said, well, what are you doing? It's straight at the fielder. And probably, I mean, it's an awkward one because it is Karthikeyan's call. It is Karthikeyan's call, but I think it wasn't a great call. He'll probably be the first to admit that on reflection. See, Asif responds straight away, but then he's watching and he says, well, that's straight at him. I don't think there's a run there. And it would have been Asif that got cooked at the keeper's end. Now to Gotla. Well, he had about a week to take the bail off. He did eventually, and it's Karthikeyan that's on his way. So both openers gone. Well, you don't have many toes left if you keep shooting yourself in the foot like that. But that'll happen in this form of the game. It happens at all levels of the game as well, doesn't it? And the second wicket falls the score, 27 for 2. And so, what can you do? One of those parts of the game. They will happen. Communication is key. It all happens in a matter of seconds. Last ball, the fourth over. Abbas is out there. Asad Abbas starts with a single. It's end of 4 overs. The score is 28 for 2 after 4. Shaji, Asad Abbas. He was amazing yesterday in the last game of the day. They didn't have Manan, but he batted very, very well. I thought he might be opening, actually, instead of Kartikian, and he replaces Kartikian in the 4th over. Look, if you'd like to join in the live chat, we'd love you to do so. It's always great to get your thoughts and your opinions and any questions you have. And if you're new to the European Cricket Network, then why don't you drop us a question, drop us a line. Vinny Sandhu here, Mr. Maximo. You can tag me in the live chat at Vinny Sandhu, or you can ask hashtag Ask Mr. Maximo. I'd love to get your thoughts on what you're seeing. And a few people commenting on the mix-up. I mean, no surprises there. Communication is key. We want you to communicate with us. It's one of the unique and special things about watching ECN cricket is, and we are here to listen to you as well. You don't just have to listen to me all day. It's a two-way conversation. Thanks to all of the live chatters. I know that we've got SG in there. I saw a little bit earlier. Ridoy has been contributing with some really interesting statistical information as well, and things he's picked up. Everyone's got their opinion, don't they? Saini has come to bowl, and he gets nailed down the ground. It's going to be 1 bounce 4. It interests me they're bowling Saini at this stage. He's been used as a bit of a death bowling specialist so far, but I think there's an opportunity to use him in the middle overs, so perhaps they don't want to be a bit too one-dimensional the way they're using their bowlers. Saini feels the pain of Asif. Next one, good comeback from the bowler. It's one that Asif's in top form. He probably hits that one behind point for 4. There's a big gap. There's a deep point. There's a fairly fine third man. Asif Saini. Yeah, this is the big wicket for me. Asif and Abbas, really, these two have played some big innings. Picked away. Well, it's the same kind of a region that caused the confusion last time. And you can see it was Arun Kumar that affected that run out last time, firing the ball back to Nadagodla, the keeper. Once again, he's hovering in that mid-wicket region. Well, it goes after this one, and he gets it good. Well, watch out, Oscars. That's in your territory. Maximo! How's that for Asif? And you can see how he can hurt you. Look at the footwork, very positive, and he absolutely smashes this back over Vasu Saini's head. And that was a big Dorothy Dixer. Vasu bowling a length which can beat the bat, can pick up a nick, but I tell you what, it's also the kind of length that if you can pick it up and get in the middle of the bat, you can easily lift it out of the ground. And this time Vasu comes back with a good reply. This is a good comeback from the bowler. That's twice he's had to come back after being hit over his head. This one, bit of extra bounce. Have a look at this one take off. Takes us to the end of the 5th over. And the score at the end of 5, it's 39 for 2. And welcome to the European Cricket Network. If you're just joining us, it's Vinny Sandhu here, Mr. Maximo for ECN today. And we certainly have seen a lot of action so far. We saw a highly entertaining first half of the day between Banasa and the Bucharest Gladiators. They ended up splitting their series, their mini-series, 1 game apiece. And that meant the Gladiators, they are just 2 points ahead. They're 1 win ahead of Banasa. But both of those teams, they will play 2 games tomorrow. But they're tough games, aren't they? I mean, Banasa, they're going to have to play United, and the Gladiators are going to have to play Cluj. And I would say out of those matchups, I'd say Banasa are more likely to spring an upset than the Gladiators in tomorrow's matches. And Banasa, they'll need to, because if they don't win either of those games, the Gladiators will know that they are through to the Final 4. At the other end of the table, though, we've basically got 3 teams who are competing for the top 2. And the reason that it's important to finish in the top 2 this week is because the top 2 teams, they won't play an elimination match in their first match on finals Saturday. They'll play a qualifier, a 1 versus 2 game, and if they win that one, they'll go through to the final. If you don't win that 1 versus 2 qualifier, then you will play the winner of the 3rd versus 4th matchup. So if you finish in the top 2, you get a second chance essentially. But if you finish 3rd or 4th, then every game you play is an elimination match, and if you lose it, you'll be out of the tournament. So if you finish in the top 2, you only need to win 2 matches on finals day to win the trophy, but if you finish 3rd or 4th, you actually need to win 3 matches to win the trophy. And that's why I think you'll see a really entertaining battle at the other end of the table, the top end of the table, between these 2 teams, AECCB and Cluj, as well as United, who have the day off today. But United will be back. They play Benassa in their last 2 games, and they're 3-3. I think they back themselves to win those games, but you'll see that all the teams tomorrow, they'll have plenty to play for, because at one end you've got that top 2, Carrot, and at the other end, just playing basically to survive Benassa and the Gladiators. But hopefully you stay tuned, because we have today and then tomorrow the final day of group matches, and then finals Saturday. So a 6-day series. It certainly has been highly entertaining. It's a wonderful place to play cricket as well. It's Moira Valencia Cricket Ground. There's a lot of history behind it as well. It was devised by a businessman who had a son that got really interested in cricket after studying abroad. Here's Safi Ahmed, who gets the ball. Haven't seen too much of him so far. He starts with a wide youngster. There's a few fans out there because of his moustache. Got a bit of a cult following already, Safi. Tell you what, giving it a rip. Pretty good pace. He's got a real whippy kind of wrist, actually. He's not the tallest, Safi Ahmed. Just got to find the radar. He's keeping outside the off stump. Shaji is on strike. Asad Abbas. That's this one right. And now, isn't it great to see some new faces in this Cluj lineup? I haven't seen much of Safi Ahmed. This one gets away, will be called a wide. But yeah, I always like to see the young talent coming through. Again, Cluj, a lot of these teams that we do remember from ECL 19, the Champions League of European Cricket, where they were the champion club in Romania, and they represented Romania at that first ever European Cricket League tournament. This one's in the air, and it should be taken. And it's dropped. Well, can you believe it? I can't. That's Suki Sahi, who just hung up there a long time, didn't it? And he's a young man. he's just 16 years of age, Safi Ahmed, but he could have had a wicket right here. The Sahi just misjudged it. And this next one, he's going to pay the penalty. In fact, I think it's gone all the way. Maximo. Well, feel the pain, feel the burn. It'll be burning inside Safi Ahmed after Sahi put down what you had to describe as a sitter. This next one, bang, straight on the rope. That's 6 runs. And there goes offside, and Siva's going to have to hunt this one down. He's got a pretty good arm. He'll just show it here. That's an excellent piece of fielding from Sivakumar Periyawa. But you think about these 2 batsmen, I think they're the most dangerous batsmen. Certainly have a lot of other players that can bat, but as far as the scoring rate, these 2 are the most dangerous for ACCB that are left. And he goes leg side again. It's going to be 4 more. Oh, disappointment for the young man. And now Shaji's after him. And I just thought that Cluj, they don't let too many opportunities go. They'll be really disappointed about that one. But Ahmed, a little bit too much length to work with. And Asad Abbas made him pay 4 runs to the total. It's over. 15 off it so far with the ball remaining. But again, it can all change very quickly. Nice ball coming up. Can the young man turn it around? Well, he can, and does it in style. Shaji's got to go. And, well, you've got to give credit to the youngster. He stuck at the task, and he delivered a really good ball to get rid of Asad Abbas. And it's all about the length here. It's just not quite short enough, and although maybe it keeps down a little bit, it wasn't the shot to play. Cross-batting the ball in the stumps. Great moment for the bowler. And the young man It's the enthusiasm of youth. He takes care of Asad Abbas, and what a moment for him. Abbas goes for only 7. Never really got going that innings to score.
ভাইরাস এক ধরনের জীবাণু, তাই জীবাণু আর ইনফেকশন থেকে বাঁচতে ব্যবহার করুন স্যাভলন সোপ।
স্যাভলন সোপ?
হ্যাঁ।
এই বিতর্কিত করতে মত পেতে থাকে, তাই স্বজন বিরুদ্ধে উঠে প্রকৃত উপকার ভোগীদের মাঝে প্রণোদনার অর্থ পৌঁছে দেওয়ার ব্যাপারে আমাদের সবাইকে সতর্ক থাকতে হবে।
শতবর্ষী গাছ কেটে হাসপাতাল নির্মাণের সিদ্ধান্তের প্রতিবাদে সোচ্চার চট্টগ্রামের মানুষ।
So you get over the 100 mark, but you feel like you probably need a few more than that against Cluj. You have a few weapons with the bat. But having said that, they could get a lot more than 2 a ball if Abdulatif gets going. And get going he does. And this one is a massive hit. Well, that would be a century in metres, because that's a 100-metre hit. I'm telling you that right there, right now. This one was short. Sukran Sahi, his day goes from bad to worst. His first ball disappears, and that one's never coming back. Big Maximo to start the 7th over. Sahi, again, I mean, not necessarily in the best 5 bowlers of Cluj, but they are definitely trying to take the opportunity to share the bowling around and develop the spin of Sukran Sahi. And look, this is one of those ones, and we've seen so many of these this year. I think if you're watching this and if you are playing these kind of games, you've got to, as the outfielder, you've got to call the infielder off it. We probably won't have time to have a look at it again, but it's the kind of ball, if Zaini was able to go full pace, he was going to get there. But Anand Rajshekhar, he was backing back, and would just, naturally, Zaini had to put the brakes on because he didn't want to collide with his teammate. So, been listening a while, I've played a lot of cricket and baseball, and in baseball there's a real clear chain of command amongst the fielders. If the ball is in between certain fielding positions, then one fielder always takes precedence and will call the other fielder off. This one's hit pretty hard. It'll take some stopping, but no problems for Taran. Takes it clean as a whistle, just a 1 run. So, I mean, the complication, I suppose, in cricket is that fielding positions, they're not always so predictable like they are in baseball, but still, I think, outfielder has to take precedence over the infielder, those balls. Now, this is in the air, but it's no one's catching this. You can forget it. This one is on the bank. Maximo! As if we talked about the fact he has the highest strike rate in this competition so far this week. And if you want to know why, just watch this ball. Nothing too much wrong with it from Sahi. Pure power from Abdul.
আর কিছু আপনার
ধরেন
মালিকানা এখন মালিকানাটা নিয়ে চেয়ারম্যান সাহেব
always looks easier on TV than it is in real life, but Abdul Asif just timed this one sweetly. Another 6 to end the over. That was an expensive one. He goes magical. 20 off it. Asif means business. It's the end of 7 overs. 74 for 3. Just the over that ACCB needed. As we look ahead to what's coming up over the next few weeks on the FanCode European Cricket Series. We have 2-week series from here on in until the ECC, which starts on the 13th of September. And you can see there that we are in Stockholm from Monday with F 2 weeks. Got Malmo in the south of the country for 2 weeks, then Dresden and Capelli in Germany and the Netherlands, respectively, before that international tournament begins. I'm really looking forward to that in just under 2 months' time. Here is Safi Ahmed, who's continuing. And certainly is an exciting talent for Cluj. I'll tell you what, for a 16-year-old, grows a mean moustache. Oh, this one almost gets through. See, he can't avoid it. That's fair from Nadagotla. Look at this. I mean, you see, he's a long way out of his crease. I think he just gets back in time, but can't avoid the ball. Wrong place, wrong time. Well, it wasn't the best throw from Nadagotla, to be fair. Wouldn't have hit another set of stumps. time, Safi just loses it down the leg side. This game, I still think Cluj are ahead on points, but with Asif there, you just know how quickly he can score. You quite easily get them up to that 120 mark or beyond. This is good bowling from the young man. This time he goes another go. Natty Gotler. Asif, he was very alert to it. But you got to hand it to the young man. He's running in, he's giving 100%. He had two eyes on Natty Gotler, and he knew to get his bat back in the crease. Three-quarters of the way through this innings now. Asif on 39, but he wants more. And he's going to get more here. This is just lifted up over the leg side. On this one, it might have gone all the way. It has. Maximo! Safi Ahmed learning the hard way. You don't want to get on the pads of Abdul Asif. And he lifts this one over the fine leg fence for 4. There's not too much margin for error. And he's beaten him a couple of times. Also, Asif has struck a couple of very nice shots. Asif moves to within 1 strike of his half century. Don't think there's any bat on this. Just a bit of thigh pad. But he will retain the strike with that. And the score of actually off the bat in the end. So just off the gloves is what the umpire was saying. Just confirming that will be a run that goes to Asif. So he moves to 46. Last ball of the over. Wow, this one is launched, and this is a rocket to the moon. Really big hit. And Ula, he mullers it. Maximo to finish the 8th over. The score at the end of 8, it's 89 for 3. That's the kind of length. All right. Suits Samuela just nicely. And he just swung away, a little angle into him. Goes leg side, goes big. 89 for 3. In the end, over. Going for 15. So a little bit expensive. Pair of 15s for Safi Ahmed in his overs. And so 1 for 29 is official figures. 9th over coming up. And Siva is going to bowl some of his off spin. Siva Kumar Periawa. Interesting, they haven't used Tanjit Singh in this innings. Only used Vasu 1 over so far. This one's in the air, and it's going to be 6. Now, this is a really good hit from Asif. This is why he loves this stage of the innings. And with this shot, he goes to his half century. Excellent innings from the all-rounder. 52 off 21 balls. Just the 1-4, but 7 Maximos. And 46 of his 52 runs have been in boundaries. Oh, this one. Oh, I think this one was a really tough stumping chance. Have a look at this. I mean, it's a really tough one. Natty Gotler does well to get gloves to it. It's between the batsman's stumps. But have a look at this. See, if he grabs that, I think he probably stumps him. It just bounces off his hand. Still makes a good stop. This one makes a mess of it. This would have been a huge wide. It probably would have been trouble for Satvik down the leg side. But he just gets some bat on it. This is one he didn't want to hit. He would have got a wide. Maybe more wides. Natty Gotler looks to be covering it well, but it's a useful dot. Siva with the ball. Tries to lift him straight, and once again he's got the power required. Maximo! And see if you've seen him consistently scoring runs in this series. And this is not really a bad ball from Periawa, but at this stage of the innings, I think you've got to get full up. You've got to get up in that block hole, because if you give him length, he doesn't seem to miss out very often. This one's almost off the back foot. Goes again, and this one's even bigger. Well, certainly not learning at the moment, Periawa. This one has gone a long way. That's almost into the car park. Asif once again passes 60. What a player he is. And with Manan going early, he knew that he was one man that could step up and fill the void. And once again, he's performed for ACCB. Big hitting. And Siva being put to the fire right now. 18 of this over. Last ball of the ninth coming up. It's a good bit of keeping again by Savik Nadagodla, but it will be a wide. Have a look at this one. What I like about the keeping here is look how he tries to get his eyes over as far as he can. Back to live action. This is going to be 6 more, and you forget it. Yeah, it's all go time now. They've pressed the go button. Oh, some nice fielding up there in the crowd. And there's Prabjeet, a 4-year-old, throwing it back. Nice bit of work. Sensational bit of hitting, though. Take nothing away from the batsman. You knew straight away this one was all over as soon as it left the bat of Abdul Asif. It's the end of the 9th over, and it's 114 for 3. It's been really, really big hitting. And this is a man who just hit 6s for fun. In fact, it's his 10th 6. We're getting right up there. Sarabjit, who is Taran's wife, fielded one of those very cleanly on the bounce. Maybe we'll have a Romanian women's team one day. She'd be one of the first pick for me. Sarabjit, if you're watching this, nice bit of fielding. I noticed it. Very unselfish. It was Prabjeet that threw it back. Vasu Saini comes back to bowl the 10th. Can he stop the bleeding? Now, this one, is it going? It's going, and it's gone. Maximo! What a kick to this innings. And just like that, the score's 120. They've lagged behind for so much of this innings, but it's a big finish. I mean, with that, the last 3 overs have gone for 60 runs. And you add that one in, that's 66 off 19 balls. It goes again, but this time it's a miscue. It won't be an easy one. Taran's hunting it. Keeps it in front of him. I'll just get a single. And probably not mattering that much at this stage. We've got Asif on strike now. He's got 70 runs to his name. What a player he is. Vasu, what's his tactics be? Will he get up in the block hole? Will he risk bowling length? Yeah, he gets up where he needs to be. This is good bowling. And this is why I think Vasu Saini is a good option for the last over, or last couple of overs even, because he's very, very smart bowler. He knows what Asif's trying to do. He wants the length, he wants to drive straight and get something he can get under. This one, well, it's hit wide of the fielder. Now they're going to try for 2 here. I don't think they are. A bit of fatigue setting in, I think, for Abdul Asif as well. This is a good bit of fielding from Sahil Sheikh. I think wicket boundary. Had a bit of ground to get around to his left. Saini, 2 balls to go. This is Ulla on strike. Hits this very hard. And watch out. This one is going to be 4. I know I've learnt my lesson. That one's coming straight at me. I had one of the chairs ready to throw at it. This one, my laptop. I've already had 1 dent in it this week. And well, now both batsmen hitting with immunity. Last ball innings coming up. Decent score now, 126. This is out the last ball. I don't think they'll even try for a run here. So, takes us to the end of the innings. And I think it's so funny. After all that, the highs, the lows, the big hits, the misses, it's pretty much bang on what I would call a pass score. 126 for 3, the final after the first innings. ACCB, after winning the toss and batting first here in match number 15 of the FanCode European Cricket Series. Well, these 2 teams, both 4 wins to their name. They occupy the first 2 spots on the ladder. But you wonder, will there be room for both of them in the top 2 come the end of the group matches? Well, a lot of respect between these 2 teams as well. But Manan, as usual, he came out like a man on a mission. And eventually, he went to a very good catch from Vasu Saini, who had to back a long way. Manan, he was frustrated. And it was Adipatu who bowled really well, really well. And he set up that first dismissal. And then this one, it was a big disaster. AK, well, he had to leave the building after that mix-up with Abdul Asif. Well, luckily for Asif, he survived that close call. And Sukran Sahi, That's one that he probably should have taken. And Shaji entered the building. He's an exciting one to watch, isn't he? Asad Abbas. He didn't really fire. He got bowled, and that was a nice moment for Safi Ahmed, who knocked him over. One that maybe kept a bit low, but still was good line and length. But in between it, there was a lot of big hits, and a lot of them came off the bat of Abdul Asif. 10 sixes in his innings of 71 off 28 balls. Really, nobody was safe. And tried a few different bowling options. Siva even got a go. Time and time again, he was disappearing. And this length is just so dangerous, Abdul Asif. You've given that length to work with. The last few overs, I say he likes batting in the second half of the innings or through the middle overs and then into the final overs because it's party time. And in the end, Taran, he's doing his best and he didn't put a foot wrong in the field. He'll certainly have some work to do with the bat as he opens the innings for Cluj in the second innings of this match. We have a look at the scorecard. You can see that was dominated by one man, Abdul Asif, 71 off 28 balls. Like I said, 10 sixes in that innings. There's an innings in total that contained 5 fours, but a massive 13 sixes, 10 off the bat of Abdul Asif. Also, AK, handy contribution of 14 before he got run out. Manan, 6 and out today. And there's a good catch by Vasu Saida, got rid of him. But also Asad Abbas, 7. Sami Ullah, handy little cameo from him as well. He lifted 2 out of the building, 18 off 8 balls. And Adapatu, for me, he was the best of the bowlers, 1 for 10 off his 2 overs. Mishra, I think, bowled pretty well as well, only conceding 17 without taking a wicket. The other wicket went to Safi Ahmed, who was a little bit expensive. But speaking of expensive, just look at those overs from Sahib and Periawa. The 5th bowler effectively going for 45. So I think this sets up a really entertaining run chase. It'll be Cluj, who require 127 from their 10 overs when we return in just a few minutes on ECN. Hope you're enjoying your day. Plenty of action around the corner. This is the European Cricket Network. You're watching the FanCode European Cricket Series.
You did. The same result for Evan Lewis.
50 runs to Karen Pollard. Get him in that play. The celebrations begin.
And the celebrations continue.
Oh, crack first ball. That is magnificent stuff.
Brilliant from Karen Pollard.
Wonderful.
Hello and welcome back to
Vote him.
cricket round.
You did. The same result
in Romania, and it's certainly a good time to join
for
us.
Evan Lewis.
50 runs to Karen Pollard. Get him in that play. The celebrations begin.
And the celebrations continue.
Oh, crack first ball. That is magnificent stuff.
European Cricket Series.
Brilliant from Karen Pollard.
Would love to register a win here. Got a really good contest on our hands. 126 was posted by ACCB in the first half of this match, led by a sensational contribution of 71 of 28 balls from Abdul Asif. What a player he is, and we'll probably see him grab the new ball as well for the men in blue. A lot of respect between these two teams, and national representatives amongst these two clubs as well. One of them, Taranjit Singh, will be opening the batting for Cluj. We know that he's been in very, very good form. And there's a lot of runs to get, but like I said, I think it's pretty much a par score, the kind of score that Cluj will fancy chasing, and the kind of score that ACCB will fancy defending. And both these teams have 4 wins, but the difference is Cluj, they have 2 matches in hand. So Cluj had the rest day on the first day. ACCB have the rest day tomorrow and the last day of group matches. So these 2 matches this afternoon actually will be the last group matches for ACCB. It's their last opportunity to score points. So that's why I'm sure they'd want to win both of these. And if they do, then these 2 teams will be equal on a 4-2 record. But an opportunity for Cluj to press ahead. And even if they split these fixtures, they will be a game clear of ACCB. Who could forget ACCB in match 8 going down to the Gladiators. We'll have a couple of key Gladiators joining me as this innings continues. So keep an eye out for that. It's going to be Taranjit Singh out there, like I said. Sabiq Nadagotla, the keeper, will be his opening partner, and Abdul Asif will be the bowler. He's going to start around the wicket. Long on in place. Third man in place. And, well, Taranjit Singh's in place, and he's going to send this one all the way over deep, point for 6. Maximal! What a start. And Asif, who hit 10 of his own, immediately tastes the other end of the stick. Look at this one. Just goes over with it, and you know they've got the third man back, so if he doesn't get out in the middle, then perhaps the third man comes into play, but one well in control of it. And Taran with a perfect start. One's in the air, should be out, and it is. So a big wicket, 6 and out for Taran. And that's a huge wicket. And both of the key men, Manan and Taranjit Singh, the respective teams, they go 6 and out. Taran so disappointed, never really went after this, just tried to time it, but didn't get the elevation to get over the fielder. And, well, big moment in the game. And once again, it's Abdul Asif that comes up with a wicket. Bit of magic. And just like that, it's over. Taran gone second ball for 6. And can you believe it? 6 for 1 in the first. Anand Rajsekara, another very good batsman, replaces him though. But AK, he's had an interesting game, hasn't he? Ananda Karthikeyan. That certainly was an important one for him to hold on to, and he grabbed it with both hands. He was run out in calamitous fashion in the first innings. An important contribution in the field, removing arguably the most dangerous of the Cluj batsmen. So the around the wicket attack working to Taranjit Singh. Anand batting at number 3. Joins Nadagotla, faces up now. This one gets past the outside edge. You can see how sometimes you just have one really good performance and it can lift your whole team. That's the nature of this form of the game compared to some of the longer forms. A bit of respect now from Rajshekara. You won't want to leave too many because there's only 60 deliveries in this innings to get these 127 runs. It's not like they're chasing 80 or 90 or 100. And it's great to see Maya in the chat, as well as quite a few familiar faces. What are you thinking about this game? Does that change your prediction? This one is called wide. The umpires have been pretty consistent on these outside the off stump. They've got those indication lines. I think it's a good call because it just gets a bit of the paint as it goes past the popping crease. High tension at the moment as we make our way through this first over of the reply. Once again, Rajshekara just has a look at it. This is one of the things. Okay, it's one thing if you just see out a sieve. That's one thing, but he's got 2 overs. That's a lot of runs to get in 8 overs if you don't really attack him. See, Rajshekara doesn't want to nick one. Dangerous areas that Asif is pitching these balls. Once again, he lets this one go. So it's the end of the first over. Rajshekara allows 3 to pass, and the first over has passed. It's 7 for 1. And the big story of over number 1 was opening batsman Talan Singh going very second ball that he faced after he hit the first ball for 6. He was out immediately after. AK Karthikeyan takes the catch. And so if you clues, you just have to try and track that score. For me, it's about 25 runs every 2 overs is what they need to stay up with the rate. So a lot of people still think Cluj in good shape, but certainly a start that will give ACCB a lot of hope about knocking them off. And it was ACCB that actually won the last time these two teams met in ECS cricket. They won 140 they chased down with an over to spare back in September. This is a pretty nice shot though, and this one's going to go 1 bounce, 4 runs. And we'll have a look at this again on the replay. And see this one, I think just bounces inside. Just inside the line. And 4-run signal by the umpire. And that's a really good start. Fernando Godler, he's been watching at the other end. This is Samiola with the ball. This time, leans on it, won't carry it to the man mid-on. It's actually a pretty good stop. It's not a really easy one for Abdul Asif. We can't keep that guy out of the game. Someone's climbing on him. We've seen these get over some of the fielders before. Nanagotla forward than a dot. Long on goes back now. Knocked down the ground, but mid-off is back. It's so important to the defence of their totals. Any batting still to come. Sayani, Adapatu, Perialwa. Leg side this time. Scramble through for a leg by. Rajshekara, just a bit of a nervy start. That'll be a leg by, so hasn't scored off any of his first 5 deliveries. Just biding his time. Trying to neutralise the threat of the new ball. You just feel like something's got to give. Either there'll be a wicket or there'll be some sort of counter-attack from Cluj. Goes over leg side, just goes with the movement. He's going to get 4. This is really nicely struck by Nanagotla. He loves batting in the power play. He just loves getting over the infield. And so there's a bit of an in-swinger from Ulla. Samiola just drifted into the pads. And he just stroked this away. Didn't really try and hit it that hard, but certainly enough to clear the infield on the leg side. 4 runs the total. one, a standing pull shot. Field is well placed now. He's just pushed himself around a little bit, I think, to Nadagotla. So it's the end of the second over. The score is 18-1. Yeah, maybe 7 behind where they want to be at this stage, but they won't be too bothered about that with 8 overs left in the chase. It certainly has been gripping cricket from Romania, hasn't it? And so, third over, what do? You go back to Abdulaziz or do you save him up? That's the discussion at the moment. They've got a lot of good bowling options, ACCB. And so, 18 on the board. Here's Hussain with the ball. He's a fiery customer, but the pace is used against him on this occasion. It's cut away by Nadagotla, who's taking the responsibility of scoring in the power play. There's no one back at third man. It's just too short, but I mean, we've seen those beat the bat before. And so, 4 runs off the first ball of the over. Got that run rate required. Let's have a look at it. It's around 13.4 and over at the moment. So, I mean, to do that does help to get those 8 to 10 in boundaries every over. This one, lucky the mid-off. The mid-on's back. The no ball is called. I think this may be for overstepping. Look at Hussain here. Yep. You can see that front foot. There's nothing behind the front line, so that's costly. It's going to be a free hit now as well. They did come through the single. That's something Hussain needs to watch out for. Just creeping too far forward. That front line. It's a great opportunity for Rajshekhar to get into his innings. He's got the immunity cloak on. Can't be dismissed unless he's run out of this ball. Misses out though. He's going to get it wide. Hussain, he's a bit of a wild thing with the ball. Got good pace, but doesn't always know where it's going. He likes to bang the ball into the pitch. No doubt that was a wide. So the free hit will still be in effect. Where's he going to go with it? Rajshekhar up. He just needs to concentrate on making good contact. Well, this is not good for anybody. Unless you're a Cluj supporter, because he gets this one completely wrong. And like I said, can be a bit of a wild thing. This one was wild and woolly. It's going to be another free hit. 5 wides to the total. Already this free hit's gone for 6 and we haven't even had it yet. We've had 1 wide, then 5 wides. This one, it's an overcorrection. And Shaji needed longer arms, didn't he, to pull that one in. So still the free hit in effect. I suppose he's calculated risk to bowl him at this stage, Afzal Hussain. Sifat Rahman in the chat saying, where is Taran Singh? I can tell you where he is. He's sitting down. He was 6 and out in the first over. Very first 2 balls of the innings. Going that way. Free hit again. Free miss. So Rajshekhar still can't score. 0 off 7. I feel like this could go 2 ways. Could be looking back in an hour and laughing about the fact he was 0 off 7 at one stage. Or he could be looking back and thinking, well, having an opposite reaction, put it that way, because he really needs to go on with it now. It's hit out or get out time for Rajshekhar up. Once again, just looks a bit out of touch today, doesn't he? 0 off 8 now. I'll start talking about records. 13 ball 0 is under attack. Surely not. I mean, a player of the class of Rajshekhar, you don't expect him to be bogged down for too long. So, as saying, when he gets it right, he's very awkward, but sometimes he's his own worst enemy. Once again, swing and a miss. He'll scramble through for a bye. There'll be a bye. So extras aplenty in the third over. Look at that. Some of the youngsters, bat and ball in hand. Isn't that a great sight to see young Romanian kids getting involved in cricket? And they love the practice facilities here. They love to get a bat and a ball in their hand and make the most of this wonderful cricket ground. Up the way. They won't get a run now, they will, because it's fumbled. And this is the thing. If you are 0 off 9 like Anand Rajshekhar is, you're hoping you're getting runs from somewhere. At the moment, it's extras that's making up the difference. You wouldn't believe that it's the same batsman that was whacking him all around the place the other day, but again, just needs one shot to get his innings going. Last ball of the third over. And he does, but it's in the air. And well, it certainly is catchable. It's Zakaria, and he gets nowhere near it. Oh, well, something had to give for Anand. And this one was a mile high. It's just misjudged in the end by Mohammad Zakaria. And can you believe it? He would have made a 10-ball duck instead. And he gets off the goose egg with a single, a very high single. And at the end of 3 overs, it's 33 for 1. And well, it's the end of the power play, 33 for 1. Maybe a few less than they would want to be. Samuela's going to continue his second over coming up. His first one went for 11. Rajshekhar up. Misses out on this one, but he does get the wide. Great opportunity to welcome into the commentary box for the first time today Pavel Florin from the Bucharest Gladiators and Romanian national team. Well, it's actually not the first time today that you have been in the commentary box, is it, Pavel?
Yeah, it's the second time now. You don't remember?
I do remember. As I said that, I realised.
I like this place, so...
Short. Well, listen, he goes for it, but this one is another opportunity, and surely he's not going to drop this time. He doesn't, and well, he makes up for his error, Zakaria, and he makes it up very quickly. Rajshekhar, nothing worked for him in that innings. He just couldn't get this one over the ropes. It's Zakaria. Well, he's back in everyone's good books now. He falls for 1 off 11 balls. Well, poor Anand Rajshekhar, he's going to the Hall of Mirrors, having a good look at himself. He just couldn't get anything going. He's used up a lot of balls. His teammates won't get him back. It's the second wicket to fall, 34 for 2 in the fourth over. It's a funny game, isn't it, Pavel? Because some innings you can go out there and you feel great, and other innings, just nothing works for you. And certainly I think Anand on that occasion, nothing was happening for him.
But now is coming Vasu Sayani. So the Cluj have more option to turn back this game.
Yeah, they do, but you know, he took some calculated risks. Rajshekhar leaving 3 balls in the first over. He was obviously setting himself for a big innings, but just couldn't get anything going, and so he falls for 1 off 11. And the one he got was actually a catching opportunity. Samuela to continue. And he got, remember him? He's there, and he's still scoring. He gets a boundary. And this one just wrong from Ula. Gets length at the knees. He turns on it, and fine leg was in the circle. It's 4 runs to Cluj.
Very short ball. So.
It wasn't. Satwin had a godlike. I mean, you've played a lot of cricket with Satvik, and he's a very good wicketkeeper, isn't he? But also he's showing what he can do with the bat this week.
Exactly.
We'll have to ask you in a second about your celebration. You did tell me to stay alert if you got a wicket. Next thing, you're up in the commentary box with me. This is another one. He's going to swivel, and he's going to get 4 more. That's going to bounce straight off European cricket. And once again, this is the length that Nadagodla is looking for. And he's pretty good at this one because it doesn't bounce that high, but he still turns. He's got a great eye. And just have a look at this one. Bang. That one. That wasn't coming back, was it? Bang into the banner. And Nadagotla up and away. Now he just leans on this. Clever batting. Stop should be made, and it is. That's Doki down there. 55-year-old. Does not look it. And so, tell me, did the match referee have to have a word with you after that, that celebration?
He said, don't do any more this.
I did hear that you did get an official warning for that, but I know that you'll heed the warning. I'm sure you'll keep the celebrations on the field in the future, but certainly was theatrical.
But I tell you, I like this place, so I can't stay away.
Yeah, well,
from commentary box.
Not just this place, but this cricket ground would be home away from home for you now, I'm sure.
But for a week is my home.
Yeah, mine too, and I'm loving it. Beautiful part of the world. Samuela, 2 balls left in his spell. Short. Saini, sort of hitting across it. He just plays a good, correct kind of back foot drive down to the long off fielder. So you see that they're pretty much not too far behind the rate. I would have said 25 runs every 2 overs. So they'd want to be around 20, pardon me, around 50 at the end of this over. Just a handful behind at the moment. Nadagotla to face the last ball, the 4th over. And this one's going to be another boundary. And Samuel just could not get his length right to Nadagotla, who just swivels on it. And Cluj right on the pulse in this chase. It's the end of 4 overs. It's 48 for 2. And now I'm going to ask you a little bit about your Romanian national team commitments, Pavel. And we know that you're a part of the setup. And of course, we do have the European Cricket Championship coming up. And it's less than 2 months away. We'll make a start on the 13th of September. Now, you'll be playing in the week starting the 20th of September because you've been drawn in Group B with the Netherlands, Austria,
Portugal and Hungary.
And Hungary. So, who do you think's your biggest threat? Who's the toughest opponent in that group? What do you think?
I play against Austria, Portugal, and Austria and Hungary.
Yeah.
I don't know what team they have. Netherlands.
Yeah, well, that's true. I mean, it will. The full Netherlands 11 has commitments, so it will be probably much a Netherlands A team, kind of best of those that.
I have many friends there in Netherlands.
You do as well. I mean, you played VOC Rotterdam back in the ECL back in 2019. Remember that? And I don't think we saw you bowling in that game. That game against the Netherlands, who eventually would be against VOC Rotterdam, the Netherlands champions, who eventually would be crowned the champions of European cricket after beating Eski Findorf in the final of that 2019 tournament.
It was my first game.
Yeah, it would have been. With a broken leg as well. Saidullah is going to take over. This one on the bounce, but they got to hustle. And they do. They get a single. Now, I've got to talk to you about a player that I think is very exciting. Mihai Akim, your left arm opening bowler for the Gladiators. And he's still not quite 16.
It's a great performance for him today.
Yeah, it really was. And the match performance. This one's very optimistic appeal.
I'm very proud for him.
And tell me the drinks break. I think I see him nearby, but he certainly is an exciting bowler. He's real natural talent, isn't he?
Yeah, and he's in my team, so is more advantage for us.
Yeah, played very well. This one's in the air, and this one, I think it's going to fall safely. It's just out of the reach of AK Hanan Katikian. And once again, I think really working for ACCB at this stage. But this game is very, very much in the balance. Nadagotla, he continues on his merry way. Look at this one, just falls in that awkward spot. Yeah, but Mihai is one of a number of Romanian youngsters that are getting involved. We saw a couple of a second ago, just walking around the hill, and it's been great to see that kind of local flavour in the tournament. Of course, yourself, Pavel, you can get a lot of headlines, but you know, there are plenty of Romanian nationals that are playing, and Romanian-born and bred players. I mean, Cosmin Zvoiu, the first Romanian-born captain of cricket team. See this one, turn down the run here. Maybe there was one there, but Isn't it exciting? And
it's very good. And today we have another win, and all three Romanian they bowl it.
Yeah, they're actually getting involved in the game. You're not just spectating and fielding. You're actually getting involved.
I do fielding for 5-6 years, so I know how annoying it is. Right. Just don't participate in the game.
It was that long. It's amazing you stayed with cricket. As you said to me before, you said that it was about 5 or 6 years since you just had to field before you got a chance to bat or bowl. Well, here he is, and we got him in. This is Mihai Akim.
This is the start of this day.
Now I have to ask Mihai, and maybe you can help with translating, Pavel. But how old was he when he started playing cricket, and what got him interested in cricket?
Cât de bătrân ai fost când ai început cricketul și la ce vârstă ai început și ce te-a făcut să vii aici? He have 12 years when he start.
Wow.
Well, he says something very nice, and is a fine competition, and he attract him.
Now, I want to actually ask Mihai, how do you feel when all the cameras are watching you, and you know so many people are watching the game? Does that make you feel nervous, or do you kind of forget that the cameras are there capturing all your moves?
Te întreabă cum te simți când toate camerele sunt pe tine și când toată lumea te aplaudă pentru performanțele tale. He says he's very proud. Și altceva? Simți emoții sau ceva? He says not have emotion because the camera is around him.
Yeah, well, that's really exciting, and well, I do like to watch you out there. And what are your ambitions with cricket, and what do you think you'd like to achieve in your career? You're just at the start of your career.
Care sunt ambițiile tale și care crezi că e cariera ta în cricket mai departe? This is very hard to translate, but he say he's want be a cricketer in the future, to play international and high level, and he want to be like me. But it's not this idea. Maybe we need to change something with him.
Well, you know what, Mihai? I've really enjoyed watching you. You're one of my favourite players.
Also, my friend.
One of my favourite players.
I want to say with this, I want to reach higher like me. So this is the idea.
On behalf of all of us at the European Cricket family and all the viewers as well that have enjoyed watching you, congratulations. Good luck for the rest of the tournament. And hopefully we see you more and more and more of you in the future. Thanks, Mihai Akim. What a character.
Mulțumim, Mihai.
What a lovely young man he is as well. So humble as well. Think about you're still in your mid-teens and you put under the microscope. Sukhbinder Singh, his turn. This one looks like it's going down leg side for me. And just getting the one. Probably a leg bite. Unless there was a little bit of bat. No, leg bite. Pretty hard to get the leg up this second half of the day for the poor umpires. Spare a thought for them. Look at this one. Yeah, no doubt about it. Sukhbinder. Yeah, it was not out. Tell that to Sukhbinder though. Here's the next one. It goes up and away, but this is a chance. Manan just doesn't drop them. And this one he does drop. And just died on him at the last moment, didn't it? And they'll come back for two. Manan just seemed to be a bit slow getting to the ball. And I thought once it was in his zone, and he was going to hold on to this. But you see, at the last moment, he ends up just going with one hand. And he almost took a miracle catch yesterday. It was a judge have just hit the rope, and it went for a 6 in the end. It's Sukhbinder will be disappointed with that. Next one. Well, no one's catching this. And this one's going to be 4. It's going to be, never mind 4. It'll be 6. Maximo! That's another one now, direction, Pavel. And well, again, you don't want to give too many chances to this Cluj team.
No. Gohar Manan have the most catches in this ICS Romania.
Yeah.
It's 6 catches.
6 catches. He almost had a 7th. This time, down the ground. This will take some stopping. But it's a really good bit of work from Samiullah. And what do you think about this game? I mean, at the moment, we see there's 63 runs required of 26. I mean, that rate is getting up to almost 15 and over. This will help though. This is gone. Maximo!
With this 6, Cluj is the favorite now.
Yeah, I mean, Nadigotla just seemed to have not be taking too many risks, and he's hitting the ball really well, isn't he? So, well, much like someone had to step up after Manan went cheaply, and Abdulaziz did that, Nadigotla has really stepped up in this innings. He's up to 30 now. This next one's hit hard. It won't be an easy one for Manan. Well, this is a nightmare bounce. It's a Tortuga bounce, and Nadigotla gets 4 more. And actually, with that one, he's up to 40. Really takes off.
Nasty bounce.
Yeah, I mean, if he went back, it probably would have gone over him. Probably wouldn't have even got a finger on it. So Manan, welcome back to long off. So,
is a very good surprise for me, Sadvik Nadigotla.
Yeah, let's see 6 overs down now, 74 for 2. So they're pretty much at that 2 a ball where they need to be. I said that's pretty much puts them back on the rate. Probably 75 off 6 is what my target would have been. 25 every 2 overs is what I said. Vasu Saini's on strike. Saidullah with the ball. Vasu swings and misses. You know Vasu very well. What's Vasu like off the field? Seems pretty quiet guy. Is he quiet when you get to know him?
He's quiet, but you see his catches in the first inning. Very good catch here in the commentatory box here.
It was a really important catch as well. Because, oh no, could be trouble here. Well, I think this is quite close. Nadigotla was interested in 2. Once we've done the slide on, if it's not close, we'll go to a flat shot. Have a look at this. I mean, it's touch and go, isn't it?
I think he's out.
I think, I mean, if you really slow it down, yeah, it might be.
Oh, it's very tight.
Very, very tight. We have that one in normal speed, please, now. I mean, it is so close, isn't it? I mean, you see in real time, to the umpire, you can understand why he makes the decision he does. Certainly isn't clear cut.
Very, very tight.
But I think for me, it's benefit of the doubt to the batsman with these ones. I don't really have a problem with that. I mean, again, you see, certainly a difficult one for the umpire, but you can understand why he gives the decision not out. And they don't have the benefit of that slow-mo replay. Even the slow-mo replay, it was really, really tight. This one is hit away, and once again, it will be Samila that does the fielding. But one thing I would say, with this rate required, about 14 and over now, you wouldn't want to lose wickets now because, you know, these batsmen are set, and you'd hope that they get you pretty close to the target if you're a Cluj supporter. He goes after this one. Doesn't carry to the fielder. It's a really good effort from the man at point. But he's not able to rein it in. I think that's Mohammad Ishaq there. But
one ball can change the game in this moment.
Certainly.
A wicket or a 6.
Keanu Nolan saying that
15.
Hakeem is a young Romanian Jason Beredorf. Interesting, that one. This one's just chipped, and what a shot it is. It's just pure timing. Nadigotla is having a day out. He moves to 47 off 20 balls. And this one, it's all about the placement. He just knows there's that gap down the ground. He doesn't try and hit it too hard. He knows if he doesn't quite get it, it'll be fine because of the placement. He knows that's an area. They didn't have a fielder, and he gets 6. What a shot. Nadigotla's looking good. Yeah, Keanu, talking about Jason Behrendorf, good friend of mine and former teammate. He's in the West Indies at the moment with the Australian T20 team and one-day international team.
I met him one time.
You've met
in England.
You met Jason, that's right, when he was playing at Sussex
yes.
Sharks.
It's Sussex, yeah.
Yeah, he's a lovely guy. And I don't think he's got an opportunity in the starting 11 for Australia in this series so far, but having a few troubles, so I think they'll probably see him in there at some point. Into 7 overs, 84 for 2, Cluj. Coming up next, we have match 16, the final match of the day. These two teams will go at it again. ACCB versus Cluj. Cluj, well, 50-50 at the moment for me. They're staring down the barrel of their first loss, but they can still get there. They need 43 off the last 18 balls, but this game could be crucial in determining who finishes the day on top of the ladder, and also in determining what the top two will be. Top 4 teams will make finals day, but the top 2 will have the insurance of the double champs, and you can see the news from the toss. It's Cluj this time that won the toss. They've elected to bat first in match 16. The final match of the day, that's going to be beginning in half an hour right here on the European Cricket Network.
And Asif is in bowling now. Is that bowling?
Yeah, and this is
it's
showing
very, very important over this.
Yeah, it is, and because it's so important, I think that's why they're bringing back their gun bowler, Abdul Asif. He starts with a wide. So he elected not to use him again after he bowled a very good first over. Conceded 7, took a wicket, but 6 of them were off the very first ball. Tharan hit him out of the ground, and he got the wicket second ball. So I'd love for him to step up and take a wicket now. Nadagotla on 48. Goes straight, but he hasn't got enough of it. It's Manan who holds on to the catch. So a big moment in the match, and catches win matches. And Manan, he doesn't miss too many. And if you get it too close to him, you know he's probably going to gobble it up. And Gohart gets into the game.
And catch number 7 for Gohart.
Felt like it was a matter of time till he got one. And this time he does. 85 for 3 now. And that could be a big point in the match. Still 14 and over required. And Cluj, they decided to attack Abdul Asif. You can see why they still need that 14 and over. What an inspired bit of captaincy from Sukhminder Singh, who brought back Abdul Asif at the key moment. And his gun bowler didn't let him down. Picked up the big wicket of Perialwa Nadagotla, for 48. But what an innings. 48 of 22 balls, 7 fours, 2 sixes. Once again, he tried to go straight. I think just not quite where he wanted it. Sliced it a little bit. And Manan, he was perfectly placed to take the catch. So this brings Sivakumar Perialwa to the crease. Siva. Short, and he wastes no time.
Just one.
This is Saini. He scores a single. Siva will be on strike for the first time. I think with that wicket, I think probably it's advantage to ACCB for me.
Yes, for sure now. As if he do the damage.
It can change very quickly.
Have 2 wickets now and 9 runs.
You kind of need that kind of 10 and over in boundaries if you can get them. This one will help, and this one's going to go all the way. Maximo! What a shot by Siva. That is a Siva strike over cover. And there wasn't too much wrong with the ball, to be fair. He just gave himself a little bit of room, and he whacked it and just carries the boundary. 6 runs and a perfect start.
And the first ball for Shiva, no emotion, 6.
He looks like a man on a mission. Can he repeat it? He tries, hits it very well. Hits it straight at the man who's right on the edge of the circle, and that's Karthikeyan. So he's come out and struck the ball cleanly from ball 1. So once again, the wickets normally hurt you because the new batsman can take a bit of time to get going. Certainly hasn't been the case with Perialwa so far. Saini is back on strike now. He's on 17. 2 balls remain in this, the 8th over. Worked away nicely. And Zakaria, slight fumble. That's really good running if they make it. It's a big if, but outstanding work because there was a slight fumble from Mohammad Zakaria. And as soon as there was, they were back like lightning for the second run. Excellent work. Just look how hard they run the first one. And Vasu is alert to it. As soon as there's that fumble, he's off. Every run could be crucial. Oh, this one keeps a bit low. Vasu survives by the skin of his teeth. This will end the 8th over. Pretty good one in the end. Just have a look at this one. Certainly was below the height of the top of the stumps.
Remain just 12 balls. So
32 runs in the last 12 balls as well. 95 for 3 after 8. And there were 11 runs off that over. So although that's a decent over off Asif, and you need more than that at this stage.
Asif, he does his job.
Yeah, well, he certainly has had a great game individually, hasn't he?
Yeah.
If they do win this game, ACCB, they can thank Abdul Asif for his contributions with the bat and the ball. That worm. They've been ahead the whole innings, but just coming back. Cluj. So they need a big over now. 32 required off 12 balls. But this is a bit of a risk. Afzal Hussain is going to bowl the 9th, and we know it all happens in the 9th. And he's going to get runs here. How many? That's the question. He's going to get 4. So, bit of luck for Siva. And this one certainly wasn't off the middle of the bat, but you need a bit of luck at this stage. And Hussain gets edged for 4 off the first ball of the 9th. Look at that one. It's 180 degrees. It's near that Romanian bear. Let's look at that one. So, Hussain, can he hold his nerve at this stage as well? I mean, how many would you want to chase off last over? Probably not more than 16, I think. And more than that, it gets really tough. And who will they bowl the last over? Or will they go to Sukhbinder Singh? His first over went for 20. I mean, you've got to make a decision, because if you don't bowl Sukhbinder, you probably have to go to a bowl that hasn't bowled in the innings so far. That's because Abdul Asif bowled out in the last over. So this one is cracked away. It's another boundary. This has been smashed away, and Hussain, well, he's been unlucky this time, but this time it's just a great shot from Periawa. Look at this one. He's just hitting the ball so cleanly. I don't know what he did before he came out and batted, but it's certainly working for him. He's probably been on his bias strath because he's come out with lots of energy. And those boundaries potentially changing this game now. There's 24 runs required off the last 10 balls. Yeah, here's Hussain. Everything can change in an instant though. And this one flies away, but the third man is perfectly placed. This will just be one. And really, Saini, although he's been there longer, he just hasn't had the kind of fluency or timing which Siva has had so far. Siva's looking a lot more comfortable at the crease than Vasu Saini.
Yes, you're right. 23 on 9 ball.
Yeah, so don't go anywhere. Vasu gets an edge. Well, third man.
Just one.
I want some overtime pay because he's been in the game a lot so far in the 9th over. We always say it all happens in the 9th.
They need the boundary now. And these two last
overs. Got Siva back on strike, and I mean his innings has been outstanding so far. 16 off only 5 deliveries, just what they needed after losing Nadagodla for 48 in the last over. Hussain. Oh, this one is absolutely smashed. And well, watch out, this one's out of here. Maximo. And well, we've got plenty of skills in this commentary box. And Pavel, I know that you work on your fielding all the time. You almost had time to catch that one. In the end,
catch it with my head.
It's a pity. It's a pity we didn't see it. I ended up catching it behind my back, bounced off the chair, rattled around. Commentary box has been a source of action today, and with that, well, that's a big moment in the game. Back to the field though. That's where the real action is. It's going to be 4 more. So can you believe this? What an over it was in the end. They're going to finish the 9th 115 for 3. There were 20 that came off the 9th over. A magical 9th. And Siva Kumar Periawa, well, take a bow, but your job's not done yet. At the end of 915 for 3. And now 12 runs required off the final 6 balls. I'll have to say it. Will we have a golden ball? Vasu Saini will be on strike, and he certainly hasn't looked as comfortable at the crease as Periawa, who's come and he's shown him up. He's outscored him in only 7 balls. And the question also was who is going to bowl this last over, and it looks like they are going to the captain.
He's a spinner,
Singh.
yes.
No, this one could easily be a golden ball opportunity. I often say 13 or 12 off last over. Just for me, I feel that that's the golden ball opportunity. And they're right up with the rate. They needed about 12 and a half all through this innings. Now they need exactly 12 off the last ball. Do not go anywhere. Wherever you're watching around the world, here's last over of match 15. And it starts. It's a chance though. Munnan is right back and he takes the catch. Well, a big moment in the game. Saini goes for 20, but they did cross. Periawa will be on strike. And look, Sukhbinder Singh, he had to decide if he was going to bowl last over. His first over went for 20, but the captain had the courage to take the ball in the big moment. And then Manan, well, talk about the catching and how good he's been. That's catch number 8 for the series for him. Saini goes for 20, and with 5 balls remaining, it's 115 for 4.
Every ball looking for Gohar Manan.
He's a ball magnet, isn't he? Gohar Manan. But this is a good man to come to the crease. It's Adabatu. This one, see, knew exactly where the rope was. And Manan.
Safe.
Cool in the crisis. You know, they did cross, though. That's big. That's one rule that I would probably change in the 100, which we'll see this year for the first time. Actually, if the batsmen cross, it's irrelevant. They put the new batsman on strike. Anyway, here we are in the now. Siva hits this one away, and, well, they're just going to trot through for 1. He's got confidence in Adapatu, who's a good batsman. 11 now off 4 balls. So how do you get that? You need a boundary somewhere along the line, maybe 2. And probably 2, unless you get assistance from extras. And this can't be easy for the man, Adapatu, coming out to face his first delivery in the pressure cooker. 11 off 4. And he mishits it. They're just going to get 1 here. And that will bring Sivakumar Periawa back. And there's 3 balls left. Sukhbinder Singh holding his nerve so far, but there's 3 balls remaining. 10 required for Cluj. Goes after this, but he's miscued it. And the keeper's after it. Sharji's not going to find it. Are they going to go for 2? There's no one at the keeper's end. They're going to get 2. And there was nobody home at the keeper's end. Well, this one could have gone straight up in the air. In the end, the 2 is important because Periawa does come back on strike, and there was just nobody guarding those. There's nobody guarding those keepers' stumps. You have a look here. He thinks he's in trouble, but then realises, well, I'm going to have to get back down there. I'm the man. Now they have to score off this ball. That's important because at the moment they need 7 to tie, 8 to win off the last 2 balls. And he doesn't get it. They've got to run. Well, this is why in a run chase this big, everything's got to go your way.
So we need a 6 for a golden ball.
Yeah, we do. And Adapatu is the man.
We want this, no?
Oh, yeah. I think everyone wants it.
Come on, Apatu.
There's 11 people that don't, and they're dressed in blue out there on the field. But if Adapatu can hit a 6 off this ball, it will be a tie, and we will go to a golden ball. If the ball stays in the ballpark, then it will be ACCB that hold on. So, well, it's every kid's dream to hit a 6 off the last ball. Can he do it? Adabatu not firing with the bat. It's a great effort from Abdul Wasif. And look, in particular, Sukhbinder Singh, well, he liked the LB appeal. The umpire said it was going down the leg side, but I think in the end it was all academic. And Cluj just fall desperately short. And they're going to go down in this game by 6 runs.
It's the first lose for Cluj in this series.
Yeah, and 126 to 120. Once again, you see this 12 and over or just above. It's remarkably consistent, and certainly we knew we were in for a contest in the second last match of the day, match 15. 2 teams, each with 4 wins in this series, going head-to-head for the first time this week. Well, last time it was ACCB that got the better of Cluj, and Taran, well, he started with 6, but very next ball he was out. AK was able to pounce that opportunity at cover, but this man, Satwik Nadagodla, didn't he have a good game? He was outstanding behind the stumps, and with the bat, he really impressed me. 48 off 22 with 7 4s and 2 6s, and there were a few chances along the way that went down from ACCB, and that one wasn't, though. Zakaria getting a chance to atone for his error just a few moments before, but Nadagodla throughout it all stayed pretty cool and just placed the ball well. And Nadagodla, certainly, we've seen him with the gloves, but he batted very, very well in this innings, didn't he, Pavel? See that he went big down the ground as well. Vasu Saini, he was here, and see that it was Shaji, almost had a run out.
Very close.
Certainly was.
And Gohar now with 2 catches this game.
That was such a key moment, and we talked about how important he is with the bat, but how about in the field? Gohar Manan got Nadagodla for 48, and that just changed the game. And speaking of changing the game, Siva Periawa, he came out and he was a man on a mission. He was clubbing everything in sight. Vasu went off the first ball last over. They needed 12 Cluj. They knew it was going to go down to the wire. And Siva miscued this one, but he scrambled back for 2. Then they needed a boundary, and particularly they needed Maximo from somewhere, and it was Adapatu that needed to strike a 6 to tie the game off the last ball of regulation. He couldn't do it, couldn't make contact. And in the end, they fall 6 runs short. And we got so close to a golden ball, but we didn't get golden ball number 20. Not just yet. And you have a look, in the end, it was Adapatu who was left to do the near impossible, although we've seen it before. It would have been a 6 to tie, the improbable, let's put it that way. Periawa, 30 off 10, he really kept Cluj in it. Vasu Sayani probably just couldn't really get going in that innings, and he'll be the first to admit that he's hit the ball better before. Raj Shakara as well, you look back at his innings, 1 off 11, and just really seemed out of sorts while he was at the crease. But Natagola, like we talked about, his 48. And with the ball, I mean, everyone was fairly consistent. Sukhbinder Singh, credit to him, because there were 20 off his first over, and then he came back to bowl the 10th. He only had 12 to play with. They only got 4 in the end. And so 1 for 24, looked pretty good in the end. Abdul Asif, though, the star for me, 2 for 18. And what this does do, I was going to say Rico, what this does do, Pavel, is set up a very interesting last match of the day, because these two teams, they'll play again in match 16.
Yes.
So certainly hope you can join us for that one. It's going to start in around about 10 minutes' time. Join us for the final match of the day. The bias draft, the coin toss will lead us into that one. And it's going to be a very, very interesting match, because if ACCB can win the next match, then they'll have identical records, 4 and 2. So if Cluj want to go a game clear, top of the ladder, then they have to win the next game.
And tomorrow, Cluj meet Gladiators.
That's right, and you'll get to do a bit more background on Cluj, and you probably don't need it, Pavel. I know you know these players very, very well. Certainly hope you enjoyed that game. It was a highly entertaining match, match 15. Vinny Sandu here. Mr. Maximo along with Pavel Florin. You might want to go to EuropeanCricket.com, check out the match preview for the next match, match 16, and also our social media. You know that's going to be busy. It'll be chock-a-block full of highlights. For now, we're going to take a quick break and we'll be back in 10 minutes for the final match of the day from the Moara Vlasia Cricket Ground in Bucharest. Hope you're having a wonderful day. You're watching the European Cricket Network, and this is the FanCode European Cricket Series. Hello and welcome back to Bucharest for the final time today. It's time for the fourth match of the day, and the match 16 coin toss is brought to you by Biostrath. Biostrath are big supporters of European cricket. It's great to have them on board, and for 60 years they've been providing a quality product which has improved the health and wellness of all of their customers. So thank you so much to Biostrath for their support. But now it is time for the coin toss. Let's go over to match referee Rob Kemming, who's with the two captains from ACCB and Cluj for the toss for the final match of the day. Heads is the call.
It's heads.
What would you like to do?
Bat first.
There you go, no surprises there. Aaron Kumar, he's won the toss. So this time it will be Cluj batting first. They'll carry on. And look, we'll see if they can finish the day with a win. Both these teams, they've got the top two place to push for, and they have to keep pushing as only 5 group matches remain in this tournament. It's been very fascinating. Thanks again to Biostrath for their support of European cricket. That certainly keeps me going. 500 matches strong and climbing. We plan to bring you over 1,000 matches of cricket this year on the European Cricket Network. Let's get over to the commentary box and let's get ready for the last match of the day. Welcome back to all of our viewers, no matter where you're watching around the world, whether you're watching on FanCode in India or whether you're watching on our YouTube channel, ECN European Cricket Network. So fantastic to have your company. And haven't we had some entertainment? Well, I often say you won't find better entertainment than this pound for pound anywhere else in the world. And you can see why. It's been a very entertaining day of cricket. And it's going to continue with the last match of the day. Well, there wasn't too much between these two sides, were there? In match 15, only 6 runs separated them in the end. It was 126 to 120, and you just know that it could be very, very interesting and very close again. And ACCB after that, they are 5-2, and Cluj are 4-1. So Cluj can pull level with ACCB if they win this game, but they do have the 2 games in hand because ACCB, this is actually their last group match. They'll have a day off tomorrow. The other 4 teams will play their final 2 matches. And I'm sure we'll preview those before too long. And, just have a look at these players. Now, Nader Gotley really impressed me with the bat. He held it together after Taranjit Singh went for 6. 48 he scored. But the real star for me, that last game, Abdul Azif, the way that he batted to get 70 plus from that situation and then to deliver with the ball. And then also the captain Sukhbinder Singh having the nerve to bowl that last over after he got whacked around the first time that he bowled in the innings. And it certainly was a highly entertaining contest. And it's a great chance for you to check out the fantasy dashboard, which has all the fantasy points and the fantasy credits required and the playing roles of the players. And they're always on our website, europeancricket.com, as soon as they come out, as soon as we know the result of the toss and the selected 11s. And you can also find them on our social media at a very, very exciting conclusion. And now we get to see the sequel. Let's hope the sequel is as good as the original. And this will be the last match of the day, like I said, but there are 4 more matches tomorrow. They'll complete the group stage before we play finals day on Saturday. And we'll start with an eliminator between the 3rd and 4th teams. And we don't actually know who even will be 4th at this stage. It probably will be, well, it will be Banasa or the Bucharest Gladiators. Gladiators just snatched back a 1-game lead after they split their series with Banasa this morning. Banasa started the day with their first win in ECS cricket, but they fell in the 2nd game of the day. And the 3rd game of the day, only 6 runs, 1 swing of the bat between these 2 teams. And so Cluj will get the opportunity to bat first this time. I think that batting first just could have been the difference between these 2 teams. We know that teams do like to typically win the toss and bat, and there's certainly something about these 2 teams at the toss. You saw then the Biostrath coin toss. As soon as the coin landed for Aaron Kumar, he just nodded, and straight away you knew that it would be Cluj batting first. So here's the man we were just talking about, Abdul Asif. At 10 overs each. Strap yourselves in. It's going to be a spicy contest. Last match of the day in Romania. And it's going to start with a big 6 from Taranjit Singh. Maximo. And that one almost knocked Oscar out of the tower. Well, I hope you got your parachute on there, Oscar. And this one was just flat out dangerous from Taranjit. And he starts the way he did off the first ball of the last innings. And then watch out. Well, we don't have a reserve cameraman. And so Oscar's up there. High risk, his profession, especially when Taranjit Singh's at the crease. So he went 6 and out last time. What will happen this time? Taking this opportunity, just taking a bit of extra time to tie his shoelaces. Maybe he's just trying to rest the demons from last time. He went the very next ball. And so we'll see what's his reply. This time he's a bit more careful, keeps along the ground. Once again, the second ball goes to cover, but this time it's on the bounce. Karthikeyan does the fielding. Taranjit will safely be at the other end. Vasu Sayani's been sent out to open the batting, so giving Natagotla a bit of a break. And Sayani didn't really get going that innings, but maybe a bit more time gives him a chance to play himself in a bit more. Here's Abdulaziz. And Vasu just happy to take the single. And now he'll be happy to double it down. We'll buy one, get one free. That was a little bit slack from ACCB. Well, some proper teapot action from some of the men in blue out there. They really should have only been one here. But also, got to take your hat off to the Cluj batsmen. They were alert to it. They are fighting for every run early on. You know, you're not going to get too many off Abdulaziz in the power play. Very, very tight bowler. One is punched out to cover region again. And we've seen, haven't we, that kind of 12 to 13 and over seems to be where most teams are ending up. That's a pass score. This is hit really hard down to Manan. He's a really safe fielder. And although it's not taken cleanly by the bowler, they'll only get one. ACCB certainly not looking complacent. The team that won the last match by just one swing of the bat, like I said. Punched away correctly by Vasu Sayani. So we'll take us to the end of the first over. The score at the end of it, it's 12 for no loss. So right on the money, that 12 and over. And that's a great chance for me to welcome into the commentary box Pavel Florin, Romanian cricketing icon. Pavel, welcome back into the commentary box.
I am back, yes.
How did you enjoy that last game? It was a close one, wasn't it?
Yeah, I want to the Cluj player hit a 6 to see a golden ball, but ICCB ball very well and that was the case.
Goes up and over. This one's going to go over the infield. It's going to be a boundary. So Vasu Sayani getting it on the action and strikes the first ball, the second over for 4. So Vasu getting into the power play. This one's hit hard and watch out. It's Manan. Watch out. He does not let anything through. He is a bucket with no holes. Go home, Manan. And can you believe it? And thought for a second off the bat that might be 6, but Vasu. And would you believe it? It was hit hard, but Manan, well, no sweat at all. He must have glue on those hands because everything sticks to them.
And the catch number 3 today for
3 for the day. 3 for the day. He's absolutely 3 for the day. He's absolutely been on fire, hasn't he?
Yes.
Unbelievable stuff. And just like that, it's 1 down. And Saini, no luck for him at the top of the order. 16 for 1. So now what? Certainly very, very good piece of fielding. Sayedullah with the ball. Gets the wicket of Saini. And here's Anand Rajashekara, who just couldn't get going in that last innings. Try as he might. 1 off 11. He'd be the first to admit it cost his team in the end, but that's the way it goes sometimes. Big appeal, and he's concerned about it because he takes off Anand Rajashekara. This is always a sign that you're worried about the appeal when you take off for a run that's probably not there. Again, around the wicket's always going to be hard. Yeah, for me it pitches outside the leg stump. Have a look at where this ball bounces. If it bounces to the right of that stump, it can't be out. It's a good decision. Umpiring's been very good. He gets a run here. That's something he couldn't do early in his innings in the first time he played, but certainly he's a good player, Anand Rajashekara, isn't he?
Hit me also for my bowling for 2 sixes in the championship. But today is another day.
Yeah, certainly is. And we're enjoying watching the Cluj team, of course. We know them very well, but we know them well on the ECN as well. Some old faces, but also some new faces in their lineup. And this one's full toss, and it's going to disappear. See you later, Maximo. There is 6 runs for Tanan, and he's determined not to fall cheaply like he did last time. He's been quite selective with this one. It was a knee-high full toss, and it had to go, and it certainly did. See that one? Well hit, and this one is going to be more, and no one's catching this. And once again, I've been busy in the commentary box
but
today.
Vinny is here.
Well, if Gohamanan wants to swap places, I'm more than willing. The ball's been following me lately. This time I didn't have to throw a chair at it. The equipment wasn't under attack. But I tell you, the bowling is. And Taranjeet Singh, he goes bang, straight down the ground. Another Maximo. End of the second over, 30 for 1. And that was a big over, wasn't it? 18 off it in the end. Well, Pavel's thirsty. You might be hearing the mic. But Samuela is going to come back. So they're electing again not to go with Abdul Asif. That was quite funny. I thought there was maybe a bit of a stream nearby or something, Pav, and then was it just you having a drink?
Yeah.
Even Prabjeet knows how to turn
It's
the microphone
very hot.
on and off. Just remember that. All right, third overtime. And pulled away, but I thought that was half a chance for Zakaria, but it just goes around him in the end. And the result's 4 runs. Can't get too short. And this one isn't that short, but good pullers of the ball. They pick it up really quickly, especially on this surface, and that's a confidence booster for Anand Rajashekara. Taran, you know, often note when batsmen miss out, good batsmen miss out, the next innings they are double determined to score runs.
Yeah, exactly.
Both of these batsmen missing out in that last match. This time he cuts and he finds another gap and he'll find another boundary. So this is what he couldn't do last time. Again, take an hour and it can feel a lot different. And now Anand is away. And
Two balls, two boundaries.
Certainly a nice cut shot, wasn't it? Back-to-back boundaries here to start the third over. Cluj attempting to set a big total. Goes after this one, but doesn't get it. And necessarily have to go after it. I think sometimes it plays on your mind when you're batting in the third over that time's running out the power play, and I often see quite a few, I suppose, like mental errors. That's the one that he doesn't really have to go for, and if he hits it, it's a fair chance it goes straight up in the air. But he knows there's only 3 balls left in this power play. Oh, this is a really good Yorker. He has to be careful. But he was aware of it, Rajshekhar. Now, you are allowed to hit the ball more than once if the ball is going back onto your stumps, but you're not allowed to try and score. This one, you just had to keep an eye on it and said, well, you're not going anywhere. I don't think we'll knock the bails off. Good comeback, though, by the bowler. Once again, you see, this is it. The old 3rd over swings. I see it all the time. I think you just need to try and play cricket shots. And what do you think, Pavel? Taran, can you see him making a big score in this game?
I think this is another game, and he make, in my opinion, at least a half century.
Wouldn't surprise anybody. Oh, this is well picked up off the pads, and Rajshekhar goes large. Maximo! That's the way to play in the power play, and now he gets the one that he can hit. This is the difference. The ones he was going after, they weren't necessarily easy to hit, but this one, well, again, it's one of those full tosses on the legs. That one's in the long grass. See you later. And at the end of 3 overs, it's 44 for 1. So, Rajshekhar, isn't it interesting how one innings he can look awful, like he'd never held a cricket bat before, and then now he's coming out and he's smacking them everywhere. I know Rajshekhar. That's cricket, isn't it?
Yeah, it's happened to me in the morning. First inning, my bowling was bad, and second game was good.
Yeah, that's right.
It's more motivation.
It's exactly what can happen. We know it. And if you have played cricket yourself, you'd be familiar with it as well, I'm sure. So, we're going to go back to Abdul Asif, and I think they've identified that the risk is here. So, why not get him on? It's a risk themselves to bowl out Asif, and I think he's just asking, well, shall I bowl it? He's saying, yep, I'm going to bowl it. Abdul Asif. Oh, and Taran just goes after this one. He probably doesn't need to at this stage. I mean, just keep an eye on the scoring rate. And so, Abdul Asif, only 5 balls remaining in his spell. It's him very high. It won't be out. This has hit the back of the. This has hit the back pad for sure. Well, is he gone? Is he? Well, how about this?
Taran is out.
Well, we'll have a look. And oh, bit of a surprise. I don't know what's happened there. Let's have a camera 2 and then camera 4. I mean, this to me, it looked like he hit the back pad. I mean, it was no question to me. And I don't think he hit the stumps, did it? I mean, so Taran, I mean, he must have been given out. I thought he walked. I actually didn't see the umpire give him. For me, it was always off back pad. Okay, camera 4 again. See, for me, I mean, he's nowhere near it with his bat, is he? I mean,
He seems a pad.
played a couple of times. So camera 2 if you got it as well. But I mean, this is one of those ones. I mean, I thought that Taran walked, and in the end, yeah, he's given not out. For me, it's as clear as day. And so, there's no doubt. I mean, I thought it straight away. Yes, there's a noise, but you have a look. There's daylight between the bat and the ball. It certainly is an LBW. It's going well over the top.
He's not out.
Yeah, this is the correct decision, and that's really what you want to come to in the end. I mean, Taran, well, he took it with a grain of salt when he thought he was given his marching orders, but also that is the right decision, and that's what matters.
Taran is back.
Yeah, I mean, that is as clear as you like. That is as clear as you like. And so yeah, he's going to continue. It's a big moment in the match, but again, the players out there, they're going to have to get on with it. And so, well, you know, you're going to get a healthy dose of controversy. And Taran is going to go back out there. And I think this is the right thing to do. I mean, it was a clear cut, top of the pad. It wasn't LBW. And Abdulaziz, he won't get the wicket. He'll have to continue. And so, after all that, Taran will resume on 20. Away and not the best throw for the keeper. He'll get a single. Come and do the first half of the second innings. Okay, perfect. And so, I'll tell you what, sometimes you don't know what's going on. But I think the main thing is the correct decision's made.
He's in the air.
This one is going to be pretty well struck, and it's going to be 4.
And
umpire.
No ball.
I'm not sure if it was the no ball. Have a look at this one. It was well struck over cover. Well, that one, maybe it's a dead ball. Maybe it's a no ball, I think, because there are too many fielders outside the circle. Well, we're having everything at once here at the moment. Try and keep up, ladies and gents. This one must have been too many outfielders. And so, that's certainly not what the doctor ordered. In this one, they're going to make him pay. And it's going to be Anand Rajshekhara. That flicks this one away for 4. Well, don't worry, let me just get my abacus out. I'll have to work out what's going on here, but in the end, we see that it was a no ball for too many outfielders. And then the next one, free hit, goes for 4. So, for me, the score is now 54 for 1 after 3.4 overs. Abdulaziz won't be thrilled about the no ball for the fielding infringement. And now, there's no doubt about this one. Rajshekhara's got to go. And Asif, it's the wicket that won't get taken away. Rajshekhara, again, just going after one that he probably didn't have to. It was a good delivery. It knocked over the top of off stump. And Asif, well, I know he's a match winner. He only had 2 balls remaining. He certainly made this one count. And Rajshekhara, he's got to go after sending the free hit for 4. He goes for 23 off 11 balls. Well, once again, he faces 11 balls, but instead of 1 run, this time he scores 23 runs. A much better contribution for number 3. And the score is 54 for 2.
Definitely.
Siva Kumar Periyawa comes to the crease. I think this is a good move when you consider how well he hit them. Remember, they've still got Natagodla up the sleeve as well. They've got a long batting lineup. And
I think Cluj have the best batting line in this competition.
Yeah, they can hurt you. It gives them confidence that they can all play their shots, because you just know that if one batsman fails, there's others that can pick up the slack. And we've still got Adapatu to bat. Natagodla, like we said. Gaurav Mishra, he can bat a bit as well. And Siva, well, even though he couldn't quite drag Cluj across the line in the last match, he'll have a fair bit of confidence about the way that he struck the ball. That's the end of the 4th over. And it is 55 for 2 after 4. I know, Rico. I know, Pavel, that you're very, very excited to play in the European Cricket Championship. The first time we've held that international T10 tournament. Now I'm going to ask you another tough question. There's 15 countries there. Tell me who you think will win the tournament. Or who do you think, apart from Romania, I'll give you that. That was too easy. If it's not Romania, who do you think would be favourites?
I don't have a favorite. My favorite country is Romania, of course. But if it's to choice, I choose outsider.
Choose an outsider. Okay.
Be, for example, Portugal.
Portugal. Well, there you go. There's the scoop. Well, the betting market's a big rush on Portugal now. As soon as There's Pavel. There's that. Oh, who knows? Might see Stubbsy for Portugal. He's the holder of another record in ECN we won't talk about. It's the longest duck. But, Paul Stubbsy Stubbs. Actually, we saw some great cricket from Portugal, actually. The FanCode Portugal T10 back in April. 5th overtime. Sukhbinder Singh, well, hasn't he had an interesting afternoon? This one is square of the wicket, and it'll just be a single. Sukhbinder Singh, his first over went for 20 in that last match, and then he had to defend 12 in the last over. He only allowed 4. It was really outstanding work from the captain. We needed him to stand up. He's a wily old customer. Baji certainly got the job done. So Portugal, that's a team that you'll get to play Portugal, won't you? Well, this one, good throw, might be in trouble here. And once again, Taranjit living dangerously. We know that Siva runs very well between the wickets. Sometimes a bit too well, I think. This one could have quite easily been run out. Good throw here. But you see it's an awkward one for the keeper. Look at where that bounces. And he's really got no idea how that ball's going to react off the grass. Shaji. And it's going to be a Maximo.
And this again in our direction.
Really?
So where is Gohar Manan? They come the balls.
Yeah, we can see why Manan's so busy. He's a ball magnet. This one, it would have had to have been 50 metres tall. And that's just the length that gives the batsman the opportunity to swing through the ball. Taran goes Maximo down the ground. He's going to try again, but this time he's found Manan. And he puts it down. Well, this is a rarity. And once again.
And was the big fish, Taran.
Don't get too much bigger. And now they're going to get another one, but there might be a run out here. Taran's going to sneak back for 2. Now this was low, and it's a really tough one. It was hit hard. But Manan, you just kind of expect him to take everything. But then when the throw came in, they take a second that's not there. And once again, it's Taran Singh, who almost gets run out. And he basically has 2 let-offs in one ball. I mean, this one, I think, if that hits, he's gone. Back to live action, and the next one won't be caught by anyone. Maybe somebody in the dugout. That's the Maximo. Another one, and Singh goes to 36 of 12 balls, and he snuck the strike back, and he certainly made ACCB pay. And once again, Sukhbinder is tasting some Maximos in this middle over. And Taran, he is certainly making the most of his chances.
Last ball. And this
5th over. The score will be 77 for 2. So what a start to this innings. And it's been big hitting, hasn't there? There's been a lot of clean striking of the cricket ball. There's been 6 fours, 6 Maximos in this first half of the innings. And I want to welcome everyone to our broadcast today. Vinny Sandhu here, Mr. Maximo, along with the Bucharest Gladiators and Romanian national team player Pavel Florin. Well, Pavel, what a great contest we're seeing. And I think what we've seen so far is that anybody can beat anybody on a given day in Romania. And these 10-over contests, you just need 1 or 2 players to fire. And don't forget that you actually handed ACCB their first loss in this series. Since then, they did lose to United as well. But then looking ahead to tomorrow, of course, you'll have to play Cluj. And how do you think you'll go against Cluj? And what are your plans when you play Cluj?
We are prepared for every match, so it's not important is Cluj or another team. We go and fight. And you see also the second game, after we lose, we come back and recover everything.
Yeah, you certainly did, and it was a great comeback. So how did you pull yourself together this morning after that first loss? Of course, that actually put Banasa level on points with you, 1 win each. But did you have a talk about it in the team, or did you just decide to move on and keep playing? What happened between the first and second games today?
Well, so after the lose, we took out of our head everything is negative, and we say is another match, and let's be a family, and in this mode we succeed.
Yeah, well, it certainly worked for you, and you had to contend with chasing again. And how do you feel about chasing? You seem to be the one team that seems to like chasing. You didn't win either of the tosses today, but
we lose all the tosses.
Yeah, you lose all the tosses.
We want bet first, but never is coming.
Yeah, but you pulled off a couple of really good run chases, and who will forget the 140 that you chased against ACCB, but also a much smaller run chase in the second match of the day today in the 80s.
Maybe the another team have the better players, but we have the better spirit.
Yeah, well,
so
I mean, there's no doubting the unity that you've got as a team, and the Gladiators as a project. I mean, you're not too old as a team. I think you've been created in the last 12 months. Is that right?
Yes, exactly. And we have 6 different countries in our team, and we have also this native Romanian. We are there, and we want to create something nice and where everybody feel all right in this team.
Yeah, and the Romanians in your team, you're not just fielders. I mean, you guys have significant roles to play, particularly with the ball.
Yeah, we are bowlers the most there, but also with the bat we are good. But in this tournament is not going so well.
Yeah.
But it remain some games.
Yeah, well, you're led by Cosmin Zvoy as well, the first native-born Romanian to captain a cricket team. I think he's actually done a very good job since he's taken over the captaincy as well. Handled his bowl as well. But here's Hussain, who you never quite know what you're going to get. He's a bit like a box of chocolates in Forrest Gump. And this first one, this is hit really well. Clears the fielder. Maximo! Siva has hit the ball so well today, and every time he's come out, he's wasted no time getting going. And Periawa lifts the first ball after drinks up and out of the ground. 6 runs to Cluj. They are looking to avenge that loss. They went down by 6 runs in match 15. And Siva, he's just really hit the ball well from the first moment he's gotten out there today.
He's going very well today, Shiva.
He's facing up again to Afzal Hussain.
Wide ball.
Yeah, down the leg side. And just a wide. Probably could have been 4 or 6 because that fine leg is more of a deep backward square leg. Pretty much the first ball the over went straight over his head, but there's nobody finer than him. PC Durham thinks Gladiators may be a better suited to batting second. Yeah, perhaps. Certainly getting plenty of practice. This next one's cut away, and well, this is cut like a knife, and it slices through the field. It's a beautiful shot by Siva Periawa, and once again, he's playing shots all around the ground. Excellent shot.
And it's a huge score at 6 overs.
I know there's a lot of bears in Romania, but you don't want to poke the bear. And the Cluj, they were poked in the previous match. They weren't quite able to chase down the score. In the 120s, they fell 6 runs short. Now they're looking to post a pretty imposing total of their own, but they might need them against a team that contains the likes of Gohamanan and Abdul Asif. Advances this time. I think they'll be satisfied with a single here. So what would you do then? Put your captaincy hat on, Pavel. If you're ACCB, is there anything you can do to try and break up this partnership?
They need a spinner or slow bowler.
Yeah. I mean, Sukhbinder did come on, but he went for 21, so that didn't work. But yeah, maybe someone with a slightly different look. They don't really have a genuine wrist spinning option, ACCB. Well, this one's hit well, and it's going to be another Maximo. 6 to the best from Taran Singh. He's had a couple of let-offs, but he's motoring towards another half century. He's up to 47 off 14 balls, and this is his 6th 6.
I tell you before, Taran is marching to 50 half century.
That one was smashed away, wasn't it? Just used the natural angle into him from Hussain. And this one's hit even better. Yeah, this is right off the middle of the bat. You can forget it. This one's all the way over the tents. Maximo! Taran Singh. Well, he brings up his half century. Another one in the series. 53 off 15 balls. Well, you'll have to see, but he is certainly capable of bringing up the 3 figures if he keeps hitting them like this. Hussain seems to have fixed most of his control problems, but he can't control what's happening at the other end at the moment. It's Taranjit Singh who's up and going. Can all change in one ball. cut away nicely. It's a good bit of fielding. That's what you need to do at this stage. That's Doki. Backward point. You know, he's 55 years old, but you wouldn't know it. The way he throws himself around in the field, and even with the bat and the ball, he's a really impressive cricketer. It's the end of 6th over, and the 100 is already up for Cluj. They are flying. They're 17 and over as they hit 102 for 2 off 6. Well, if they keep going at this rate, they're going to score 170, and that will by far be the highest score in the series. But you know, even if they go at a 2 a ball kind of par rate from here, that's 150, and that would be, if that could be chased down, it would be the highest chase we'd ever seen on ECN. The highest successful chase is 150 from Italy this year. But long way to go. And here's a man that wants to stop the bleeding. Samiula to bowl the 7th over. This one's a miss hit. It hits the stumps, but they still will get a run. It's good alertness from the batsman. But I think the danger for ACCB is that both of these batsmen are hitting the ball really well. It's not just Taran doing it on his own and someone just trying to hit singles. Siva is hitting the ball really well in his own right.
Exactly, and
that's up for a partnership.
ACCB don't have answer yet.
49 off only 14 balls, this partnership. And so it's going to take something special to break it up, you feel. Koha Manan had a really tough chance to take Taran. Low down, it was flat, it was hard. Slow ball. It's going to get called wide. And it's good to try things at this stage. That brings up the 50 partnership. And you can see that was a clear one. An important partnership, really. Now, I think if Siva's batting this well, I can see him batting at number 3. I don't see why he wouldn't bat him at number 3 or even open with him. This one is smashed, and this is how well he's hitting him. And Maximo! Siva hits his second, moves to 19 off 6. Yeah, think about this batting order. I mean, I think Nadagotla, he's a natural opener, and obviously Taran Singh is a natural opener. So I don't think in their best lineup, I don't think that either of those two are displaced. But what I've seen from Periawa this week, I think he's probably best suited at 3, and then maybe go to Anand Rajshekara at 4, and then even Adapatu and Saini 5 and 6. I've got some other good players though I haven't even mentioned. I mean, Devro can bat well, and speaking of batting well, is another one. And Siva, well, he's certainly had his Biostrath. That's a Biostrath super strike. And well, he moves up to 25, and he is on fire here in match 16 of the FanCode European Cricket Series, Romania.
And he's in hat-trick.
Yeah, he's gone. He's on a hat-trick. Batter's hat-trick, that is. This is an imposing total already. Goes again, but it's a miss hit. Just get past the bowler. But I identified it, didn't I, that the fact that Siva's hitting the ball so well, and you finally get him to the other end, and you've got Taran Singh staring at you from 22 yards. It's not easy for the bowler.
Not.
Taran's got to give him a lot of confidence as well that Perial was doing so well at the other end. This one.
Full toss.
Yeah, miss hit though from Taran. Surprised me slightly. That could have easily been hit out of the ground, but some respite for ACCB. Again, at 17 and over pace, they just keep on with it. I mean, the 119 off 7 would be 17 and over pace. We're fast motoring towards the highest score in this series. And there's 6 more here, and this is just a class shot from Periawa. And it was a kind of slower ball. It was dragged in, almost like a slower bounce up wide of the off stump. And he smashes it over backward point for a Maximo. And that's the end of the 8th over. There were 3 sixes in that over. It was a magical over. 22 came off it. And the score at the end of 7 is 124 for 2. Well, Pavel, I can tell you, there's more action around the corner. No doubt about it. And tomorrow is the final day of group matches. And we'll have matches 17 through 20 starting at 6 a.m. GMT, which is 8 o'clock in Central Europe, and 11:30 a.m. in India. Starting with United versus Banasa. Now, Banasa, they need to win at least one of those games to at least force you guys to upset Cluj to make the final 4. So United versus Banasa in the morning. then Gladiators, your guys versus Cluj. And who knows, you might need to pull off a win against Cluj to make the finals. So if you need to, I'm sure you'll be giving it 100%. In fact, you might be giving it 1,000%, judging by what I saw from you guys earlier today. Sukhvinder Singh is back to bowl over number 8. And immediately
he's coming.
And one's you. That would have taken out Florin. And once again, the emergency plan was into action. The equipment was under attack. And Taran Singh is doing the attacking. He moves into the 60s. Big Maximo to start the 8th over. It's go time now, isn't it? He jumped out the way of that one. You weren't jumping out the way of too many on the field.
Just missed my head.
Goes again, and you can forget this one. 6 more. It's 2 out of 2. Sukhvinder, well, he was able to rein it in the second over last match. But right now, the score is climbing. And 2 out of 2. Once again, we see a batsman on a hat-trick. Taran, I think he'll be trying to bring up 3 out of 3 this ball.
Hey, the problem is the morale. Nobody talk, nobody cheer the bowler, nobody move, nobody do something.
Yeah, I mean, exactly
They
right.
just collapse.
Yeah, certainly. We're going to see 3 out of 3. You know we will. This one's into the home dugout. Watch out, Maximo. 3 in a row from Taran Singh. Well, never mind 3 in a row. We have seen 6 sixes in an over earlier this year. Taran Vasekaran in Krefeld. Right now, it's hard to say that Taran won't do it.
3 or 3.
166 is the highest score in this series so far. ACCB themselves that made it. And well, there's another one. Yeah. That's 4 and 4. Maximo and Cuatro Maximos in the 8th over.
I think this is the first time when it's 4 sixes in Romania.
Well, if you like action, yes. How do you like foreplay? 1, 2, 3, 4 out the door. And Taran.
And 2 more and is the perfect over.
Right, it's be
the captain need to do something.
Well, how quick your day can change. I mean, Sukhvinder Singh was the hero in the last match, but right now, Singh is 80 and climbing. He'll get 5 out of 5. And watch out, Pav, that's another one for you. Whoa. That's the Maximo.
Again, Taran assault us.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Maximo. And 30 on his back, 30 in the over so far. And will we see the magical 6 sixes in and over? We've only seen it once this year. Well, we need to cricket ball proof this commentary box very quickly because we are under attack. And Sukhvinder Singh, well, there's been 30. It's a supersonic over with a ball to go. So will we see the 6 sixes here in match 16? Oh, and he doesn't do it.
Miss it.
Oh, it's not the worst result because he will retain the strike. 100 partnership up in 24 balls. 31 off the over. And incredible stuff from Taran. The score at the end of 8. Well, I hope you got your calculator out. The score is 155 for 2.
I think the highest score was 166 or 65.
166 by ACCB, and that was against Panasa.
And Gohar Manan is make century.
Yeah, he did. He did indeed. And right now, who's to say Taran won't? He's 87 off 24 balls. He's hit 12 sixes in this innings, and 5 of them in that last over alone. So, Keanu says, what a beast. These kookaburras are flying. Well, he's talked about the spin option. Sukhvinder taking the responsibility. He goes for 52. And speaking of sixes, here's 6 more. Maximo!
Taran is not stop.
Can you believe it? I mean, this is an unprecedented assault on ACCB. No matter where they are landing, Taran's putting him over the ropes. Crazy stuff in the final match of the day. Spare a thought for the bowler, Sayedullah. And now here's 6 more. And there's no stopping him at the moment. And with that one, he moves to 99 on the verge of a memorable century. Taranjit Singh. Well, you got to tell him you're on 99. And will he just push the single? I think at this stage he's hitting him so well.
I think no single.
Taran on 99. And we could be out on 99. He is. Well, how about that for an anticlimax? And he never even looked like getting out in the last couple of overs. And perhaps the fact that he knew he was on 99, I don't think he really goes after this. He chips it. And well, that's disappointment.
I'm sorry for Taran.
For Taran, but you know what? When you think about it, I mean, he did have a couple of really close calls along the way that he survived. But really, both teams applauding the innings of Charanjit Singh. He falls for 99 off 27 balls. I don't think we've seen a batsman out for a 99 before either. And in the end, they've already gone to the highest score in the series. It's 167 for 3 halfway through the 9th over.
Taran deserves a century after this show of sixes.
Yeah. It's just an incredible effort from Charanjit Singh. And
he missed the ball of perfect over. He missed the ball of century.
Still, I think if you're given the choice between 6 and 99, which is what he scored in the 2 matches today, I think the 99, you feel a bit better. And what he's done really, most importantly, he's put his team in an excellent position. And well, the runs are going to keep on coming. And this time, down the leg side, and Seaver's going to pick up where Taran left off. He scores another boundary. He moves up to 36. Devray's out there with him now. And again, just a bit too straight. Worked off the hip, 4 more runs. Well, live chat's going crazy. Can you believe the 99? Razal Islam saying, time machine stopped. He would have been the 15th century maker this year. This one in the air, and I think this has got the legs too, and it does. Maximo! Siva Kumar Periawa, he's up to 42 off 11 balls. And you know what? I mean, this sounds crazy, but I mean, the record score might be in range. 200, exactly 200 is the record score set by the Super Kings only around 3 weeks ago. And this one,
it's coming.
Yeah, it'll be caught for sure. And it wasn't quite in the middle of the hands for Manan, but he doesn't drop many. And he's probably already thinking about the kind of heroics that he'll have to achieve if they're going to chase this score down. He wouldn't put it past that man. He's a real destructive batsman right now in the field. He's doing what's required. That's the end of an excellent cameo, if you want to call it a cameo, from Periawa. He goes for 42 off only 12 balls, and he was scoring at 3.5 a ball. So the score now, at the end of 9 overs, it's 177 for 4. And that's why Rico always says, Pavel, it all happens in the 9th. And it's certainly, there was a lot going on in the 9th over of the first innings of this match, match 16.
He's coming, Sadvid Nagola, I think.
Yeah, Nadigola, who we've seen opening most of the time. But in this one, he will be batting at number 6. And I think that's just a case of retaining the order and giving a few more people an opportunity. Here's one man, and we haven't seen too much of that. And it's Nishant Devray who'll be on strike, and Mohammad Zakaria gets the chance to bowl over number 10. Well, Taran had a few close calls. I mean, it was almost fired, caught behind, and the correct decision was made. He got to continue his innings. Also, a close run out after a drop catch, or the same ball actually. And he went on, really made the most of those chances. And so, last overtime. I've got a question for you, Pavel Florent. Looks like they're going to score something around the 190 mark. Here's Zakaria. That's for the wide. If there was ever a team that could chase down 190, do you think it could be this team? ACCB?
I don't know. Now the morale in the team is very down, so I don't think they have the power to fight.
This one's hit well, and it's going to be 6 more.
And again in our direction.
That's another one. I tell you what, Manan, he certainly will be warmed up when it's time for him to bat shortly. This is a really nice shot. Nadigodla, well, he's not a bad man to come to the crease. He's been hitting the ball really well today. Scored 48 in the last match. He takes him in the 180s. Maybe that record score is under assault. But, having said that, the morale can change, especially if Manan gets going early. Abdul Asif, I mean, you might send him out there early and just have a real crack, throw all guns at Cluj. Goes again, but this one, I don't think it's going to carry to Manan this time. I'll probably come back for two. Could be in trouble.
I
don't think he had the ball then.
I think he's out.
Yeah, I don't think that he had the ball here. I think Zachary is probably saying, you know, we'll have a look at it. But I think there's no doubt for me. I know he's well out, but have a look at the. Yeah, for me. Yeah, for me, I think the ball may hit the stumps. So for me, it's the hand. Yeah, there's no doubt that it's not out for me because it's definitely the stumps that are broken by the hand. Now, whether the ball hits or not is kind of irrelevant after the stumps have dislodged the bails. And I think Zachary was the first to admit that. There was no contact. Or even if the ball hit the stumps, he'd already broken the stumps with his hand. So it'll just be a one-run difference in the end. Devray survives. It will go down as 2 runs. And where's the score? Have you got your abacus out, your calculator, your graph paper, all these things? It's going to be 2. So 186 for 4. That's still possible.
Yeah.
201 would be a new record. They won't get a boundary here, I don't think. Manan, he doesn't miss too many, so they'll just get the 1. Well, they think about maybe going for 2 to try and get Natagotla back down there, but they'll be satisfied with a single. Yeah, you know, it's a funny game because I look back and this would be would be by far the biggest run chase we've ever seen, but ACCB, they're no bunnies with the bat. We know that. And they'll have to attack. This one, a lot of bat on it. And will they try for 2? I think Natagotla, he was open to it, but also I think he's pretty comfortable down the striker's end. So 188. If the 2 sixes, they will get the 200. It'll equal the record set by Super Kings against Gozo.
Maybe a white.
Maybe a white as well, true. You know, that game actually had the morning off in Malta. And we had a record 200-6 was the score in that game. This one really doesn't get up at all. See, that record is gone now.
That is not the case.
It's the highest score and the lowest score. They came up in the same game. 200, the other team, Gozo, made 6 all out. And that was one that we'll remember for a long time. And that team, Gozo, credit to them. They came back and they won a game in that series. And they went very close to making the finals, believe it or not.
6 all out?
6 all out.
Whoa.
This one is a filthy Chinese cut, and it's going to be 4, and it's going to take them up into the 190s. Well, the mercy rule comes in at 10 overs. The mercy is that for ACCB, their day in the field is over. And this is what I sometimes think. Fielding back-to-back innings, 20 overs in a row. It's certainly a lot of time to spend out there, especially when you're chasing leather for most of it. And at the end of that breathtaking 10 overs, it's 193 for 4. Cluj, led by 99 from Taran Singh. But he certainly had a lot of support acts during that 10 overs. And we have a look at some of the highlights. It was Cluj that won the toss and elected to bat. And after going down by 6 runs, it was the danger zone down the ground at mid-off. We were in trouble, weren't we, a few times? But this is Manan. And he picked up Vasu Saini early, who opened the batting in this game. He was only able to make 8. And though Red Shaker batted a lot better than last time, he did face 11 balls again, but instead of 1 this time, he was able to compile 23 runs, and he's coming back into a bit of form. Now, this is a big moment in the match. Just flicks the back pad. Look, for me, there's no doubt at all that it was off the pad flap. Red Shaker went after 1 too many. He was dismissed for 23, and that brought Sivakumar Perialwa to the crease. And certainly Siva has batted really well today, and they put together a huge partnership and made all the difference, and in quick time as well. That partnership was worth 113 runs, and it came up in 28 balls. So just crazy, crazy hitting. Now, you know, there was an opportunity in the middle to get Taran, and it was a tough one. But it was a
show of 6s.
Really, it was raining 6s. I mean, if you count up the 6s in this innings, there were 21 Maximos. That's 126 of those runs coming in 6s. And you're right. I mean, there were some of these hits, they were big enough to bring rain on a sunny day in Bucharest. And it seemed like nothing could stop Taranjit Singh, as he just went one after another after another. He got to 99, and then, well, something that nobody saw coming. Zakaria held on to the catch at deep mid-wicket. And, well, in the end, one short of the magical milestone. And Manan actually got Periawa last over, scrambling for every run. Zakaria breaking the stumps with his hands. And once that was checked, he did not get that run out. Ball isn't what broke the stumps. We have a look at the scorecard, and it was dominated by one man. And, well, I often say 99 can be the most heartbreaking number, but it could have been a lot worse for Taranjit Singh, because he survived a few close calls along the way. Of course, he only went for 6 in the previous game. And we have a look at this scorecard. 99 from him, 27 balls, 14 maximos, just the one boundary in the 99. 14 sixes. That's 84 runs in sixes. Ably assisted by Rajshekhar at 23 off 11. But Periawa, I think he's batted so well today. 42 off 12. And Devray and Nadagotla finished it off in the last over. 193 for 4. And look, not too many extras either. Just the 7 extras. So really, most of the damage was done with the blade for Cluj. Incredible stuff. And if you have small children, this would be the time to get them to turn away from the screen, because there's some grievous bodily harm in the bowling figures. And, well, worst of all, Sukhvinder Singh, the hero of the last game, he conceded 53 runs in his 2 overs. The spin option, the most expensive of the bowlers. And say it all, it picked up 3 wickets, but a substantial cost. 40 came off his 2 overs, and really no one escaped. Abdul Asif, the best of the bowlers, 1 for 23. He was the only one with what you might call regular economy rate. And so 193 for 4. It will certainly be the biggest chase ever if they had to do it. But if there's one team here that I think are capable of scoring a score like that in the second innings, it's ACCB. But everything will have to go right for them. We'll see you shortly for the run chase. Always a quick turnaround. Last game of the day. Vinny Sand and Mr. Maximo along with Pavel Florin. See you shortly for more FanCode European Cricket Series.